Oh! Whoa!
No way!
No!
Ah!
What?
Yo!
Welcome once again to Ringside right now. You know, I am your host, Pierre, and of course, I'm with the crew as always, Clint, Curtis, and Jonathan. So, Jey Uso did a thing on Smackdown, if you will. If you tell by the intro, um, Jay made it seem like that he was in the bloodline, but then he turned it around and said he's out and gave Roman what he deserved as well. So, fellas, given the events that happened on SmackDown and given what's now been announced for Money in the Bank, as far as the Usos taking on Roman and Solo, what do you guys think about what all transpired Friday night?
Well, I did say last week, is it Friday yet? Well, apparently there was a reason why Little Birdie had me asking that, and well, it was amazing. It was incredible. We've all beat this whole dead horse to death, as Nuxie said. It's must see TV, and we got yet another reason. And I almost just lost it. It's at first I'm like, when he said he was out, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And then the kick hit happened.
The lowest low and then the highest high once he turned around and super kicked him.
I was like, oh, and then the kick happened. I'm like, oh.
I knew it was coming because I saw something, or you guys were talking about it or something. I forget what, but I knew it was coming. And Jay's acting was so great that I still screamed and popped when it happened.
Yeah, and I didn't see it coming. I thought, okay, we're gonna have the Usos break up and turn on each other, and that's gonna be the next big match coming up.
And
it got me good.
Jay's acting has just been incredible. It's like the last year and a half. It's just I swear it's like he's got something special.
I mean, I know there's the meme where that says best supporting actor is Jey Uso, but is he the supporting actor at this point? Or is he the lead actor? Because he is the main driving force of this storyline right now.
I mean, his acting is better than Roman's, so I'm going to say that without hesitation. So,
I mean, and even Roman did a great job.
Oh yeah,
Jay is just.
But Roman's character is set. It's Jay's character that had to grow to be that. Yeah. So I think we're more impressed with the growth as opposed to Roman being very good in the role that he's currently in, because it's not much he can grow on beyond what's gone as far as the apex that's been reached so far with this storyline.
I mean, you know what I like the most about this storyline? Let me ask you a question. Before the Bloodline, did you know the difference between Jimmy and Jey Uso?
A little bit.
You didn't pay attention to it as much as
there
you do
was
now.
no difference, and now they're still the Usos, but they're their own separate characters now.
Yeah, their hair is
both
different.
been built. Yeah, this
one helpful thing.
Their hair.
You're for sure right about that.
Yeah, the hair is definitely different, but it's like just short of the Bloodline. I was able to tell a little bit.
But they've got set characters now. They've got their own separate personalities, even though they are twins. They're still the same Usos. Solo has his personality set. Everyone is going over in this angle. That's what I love about it. Everyone, as a group and as individuals, everyone is getting over.
And that pop only reminded me of one pop that I heard before. You guys think back. Virgil finally left the $1 billion man. He finally broke free of that.
I will go bigger than that. I'll go bigger than that. That was similar to the pop when Austin came out to help Mankind win the title. That pop.
It's on that level. Yeah, it is on that level. And that was the loudest pop, one of the loudest pops ever.
It was a Virgil leaving DiBiase moment, but it was an Austin Mankind pop.
Or Virgil.
Ugh.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a star.
He might be in the Bullet Club soon. Who knows?
Well, he's been in the NWO, so he's got training. He knows the too
Yeah.
sweet deal.
Gold Club Light, whatever the hell they're called.
I mean,
Well,
he's already been on
But, I
AEW,
mean-
so
Has he?
Yeah. So, tell me, what are you thinking about
he
going
made a
forward?
cameo.
How you seeing this bloodline? How is it going? How do you see storyline going forward with the bloodline? And can this something that can still be sustained through to WrestleMania, or do you possibly feel that the total breakdown, the total demolishing of the bloodline will happen before then?
What's to say Jay doesn't turn on Jimmy still? Who knows what's going to happen?
We don't know. Yeah.
We've been entertained this whole time and swerved, and I mean, I think it could go to WrestleMania. I really do. I mean, this tag match they're going to have at Money in the Bank is going to be incredible. I'm sure.
oh, I can't. Look, I was already looking forward to Money in the Bank just because it's in London, but now
Yeah.
you're just adding gravy on meatloaf right now, which, by the way, is amazing. But it's neither here nor there. But let's be honest.
Now I'm getting hungry. Hold on one second. I'm getting hungry.
Feed me.
So, I mean, what inning are we in now
Six.
with this
I
story?
believe-
Be going bottom of the sixth, top of the seventh at this point.
Okay,
based on
yeah,
Paul Heyman's
I
analogy.
truly believe Triple H has more in the tank to drag this out to WrestleMania, and I
And
think
that-
it'll be worth it.
And it's funny you should mention that because I actually watched that interview right back. I watched the clip, and Roman did say there was going to be some game changing. There's going to be no more microwave stuff. You're going to have to really get locked in. I mean, it's going to be different. And
Yeah,
yeah, he was right. We knew it's like he's right, but you just didn't know how right he was.
and we're at a point where we really have no idea what's going to happen next. With the last two big events, we were able to say, okay, well, this could happen or this could happen. There were, 100 different options. Now I have no idea. I couldn't make a prediction if I wanted. And that's the best part of wrestling when you don't know what's going to happen next. I want to be a mark again. I want to be fooled, and pulled into the storyline. That's what I want. So I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I love not knowing what's going to happen next and not being able to predict it or call it when it happens.
Do you think Heyman's going to stay to the end because he looked like his money train, his child, his everything was taken away when that super kick hit Roman?
I think he's going to either walk away from this with Solo, or he's going to walk away from this with someone new altogether. Maybe going back to Brock. I don't know.
You know what? If he stays with Solo, he'll be a world champion.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yes.
I think
He's got Heyman talking.
I think Heyman's play. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead. Let's done.
No, I was going to say I think Heyman's play is going to be when Roman loses the title, and Roman's looking to him, he walks away.
For comfort, he turns.
So whether it's with Solo or whether it's just on his own, that's going to be the point you see Heyman walk away.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
But here's the thing: at what point do you see Solo actually leaving Roman? Because that's like the next arc in this storyline. Okay, we already seen this part, and of course there are going to be matches based off this. But now, where does Solo? Are we going to see some growth in Solo's character? Are we going to see some action in Solo's character as far as slowly breaking away from Roman? Now that this has happened with his actual brothers have broken away from the bloodline.
It's so many different arcs it could go on. What if Jay turns on Jimmy and goes back to Roman, and Solo decides to go with Jimmy,
or vice versa?
Yeah.
What if Jimmy is the one that turns instead of Jay?
What if it's like there's so many different ways. It's like you put something in a hat, shake it up, or one of those magic 8-ball things or whatever.
So let me ask you this also. Do you think that Roman really was building Jay up to be the next tribal chief, or was he just making that up to keep him?
Of course.
Because if he was, then does that mean he's going to train Solo to be the next tribal chief? And where does that lead?
I think they were just telling him that to keep him from leaving. But
Well, remember though, Jay was the one who voted against it. So Jimmy. So if Jimmy was the one who voted against it, so that means it was kayfabe discussed.
Yeah.
for Jay to take over, and Jimmy
I
was
mean,
the
we
one
all know
against
he's
it.
been the right hand man this whole time. Main event Jey Uso.
Yeah.
But I just kind of wonder, were they just blowing smoke up his butt, or was that kayfabe really the plan to make him next in line? And does
But
it
what
move on to
was
Solo?
Jimmy's first main event as main event Jay going against Roman?
Yeah,
That
that's
was
true.
in the Thunderdome too, wasn't it? I was watching something the other day. I forgot
Right.
how
Yeah,
odd
it was during the Thunderdome days.
how odd the empty arenas and then the max headroom TV screens were, and how far
Oh,
we've come in the world. Sometimes we forget that stuff.
The
ugh.
fact that the Bloodline storyline literally started in the Thunderdome era
Well,
and still survived. We're
still
talking
going.
2 years ago and still going. That's a testament to Triple H's
And it
creative
hasn't
direction
gotten
with it.
stale yet.
like I said,
Because we've
Has
seen
not.
storylines last as long. The NWO lasted this long, but was it as exciting in year 3?
this is better than the NWO.
No.
I'm sorry. I
I
mean,
No.
think
Definitely.
I mean, that
even
was a
what
monumental happening in wrestling, and that was giant. Maybe the first part of it was probably bigger, but the entire arc of this story has been way better. And Triple H deserves a damn Emmy. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's only
I'll say it
gotten
again.
better and better. It just keeps going
Go-
up.
When I watch something and know what's coming, and I still pop for it, like a 10-year-old kid at the Mid-South Coliseum watching Jerry Lawler fight somebody. That's a testament to that whole just the animosity that I have for Roman, not in real life, obviously, but his character, and
I
wanting to
know
see
one.
his comeuppance.
I know
That's
one.
the word of the day. Yeah,
I know one thing for sure. I want to go to everyone involved in creative with this storyline. I want to shake all of their hands and just tell them that's incredible, just amazing. You want to shake all of their hands for this.
Yeah,
and I'm with you, Clint.
Because
This is as fans. It really is.
it's nice to be
and we know the
invested.
fans have go ahead, Clint.
No, I'm just saying it was nice to be invested. I don't think we've had this many guys in a storyline that we were truly invested in since the Attitude Era. Usually it's just the top guys. You got your Cena and your Kurt Angle or whoever. The whole group, wow.
And the fans are winning because of this. Because now we're fans, and this is basically a testament to Triple H as well. Old school storytelling, but done to meet the modern fan. To where every fan, whether you're old or new to wrestling, have invested themselves into this storyline, this arc overall. Where some of it was the crowd controlling which direction they're going, and some of it is actually creative, dictating where this storyline goes. And that's a perfect harmony you can see with this storyline. At
And
least in my
also,
opinion.
I'm hoping with WWE being successful and having this great storyline and getting the fans invested, then other promotions are going to step their game up. I remember when WWF had really crappy storylines and crappy characters, and then the NWO came along and Vince decided, hey, we need to step it up. We need to compete. We need to catch up with these guys. So then we got your Attitude Era, your Austins, your Rocks, your Val Venuses, and your Godfathers, and these were all exciting characters and exciting storylines. You got younger guys coming out, the Hardys. So I'm hoping that AEW and the Impact and other promotions are going to try to say, hey, we need to keep up with these guys. I saw in a news story that Dax Harwood is part of creative now in AEW. So, I'm hoping he's actually starting to build a real creative team there, and he's letting these guys have some more input on future storylines instead of just throwing out random matches. I'm hoping this is motivating Tony Khan to want to step it up.
On Punky Brewster's show. That's not going to work, I don't think. I'm sorry.
Let's give some final thoughts to what happens Friday night.
Man,
Incredible. That's all you
yeah,
can say.
just awesome.
Incredible. Seeing where it goes, and I'm looking forward to that tag match, man. It's gonna be great, and the Money in the Bank match.
Did you guys hear that Bubba Ray, or Bully Ray, sorry, called the Usos the greatest tag team in WWE history
Well, that's
because of this angle?
Got to be something coming from him. Now, but granted, was classic WWE. They like to separate themselves to be from the rest of the world. So what if Bubba's kind of throwing that dig? The Usos are the greatest WWE tag team, but notice he didn't say the greatest tag team ever.
Well,
So it's
true,
still that
but
separation there.
They
but
said
yeah,
the
there is a separation. The reason that he was saying this because when was the last time you saw a tag team involved in a major main event angle this strong? I mean, they are the main event.
You mean slamming
Right.
me with tables, not a main event angle?
I mean,
But and they're doing this without the titles now.
yeah,
That's another thing too.
So
The
over.
titles were involved, yeah, at one point, but now the titles aren't involved, and you're more invested in the Usos without them having the titles than you were when they did have the titles.
yeah.
Because they were the titles.
That's
They had them and then they dropped them, so now they don't need the titles. And they're in that storyline.
I mean, we're hyped over this big tag match coming up, and there's not even a title on the line.
Right.
Not nary a title.
area title. So moving on from one awesome bloodline to an awesome appearance that happened at Dynamite, which is leading up to the Forbidden Door match where guess who? Will Ospreay shows up to attack Kenny Omega to solidify the rematch that's going on at Forbidden Door between Ospreay and Kenny Omega.
Man,
A lot
you
of
talk
people
about
didn't know that
forgets.
Ospreay was going to show up, but he's there now attacking Kenny Omega. So of course now that leads to the hype of now Forbidden Door coming along the way. So guys, what do you think about Ospreay showing up on Dynamite as well as this part 2 to this story between those two guys?
Happy birthday to me because that's my birthday. And
Yeah.
it is one
No.
of the greatest matches ever, man. I'm so excited. The last Ospreay Omega match, they beat the absolute dog dookie out of each
And
other.
I think I heard that they may actually go on live, which is really
They
saying
don't-
something.
They legitimately don't like each other, I think. And that's
I mean, they're going on last, and considering you got 2 world title matches at the same night. You got the AEW title, and you got the IWGP title. But this match is going on last, so that just lets you
It's
know.
still for the US title, but still.
Yeah. But see, New Japan is like that anyway. They make all of their titles as important. You know, the world title and the US title are just as important
TV
as
title,
the open weight, never strong,
have like
6-man
27
title,
belts.
whatever.
No.
But it's just as important.
And I've met both those guys, and they're both cool. I did not even like Will Ospreay before I met him. Like I thought he was just like one of those flippy guys or whatever. Met the guy, couldn't be cooler. He was one of the coolest guys I've ever met in my life, and he's changed his style a little bit. They're two of the best wrestlers in the world, and then you got Okada and Daniel Bryan too. I mean,
Who are 2 of the other
so they
best
could have
wrestlers in the
they could have
world.
Exactly.
we could have the 4 of us in a tag match afterwards, and it would still be a great pay per view. I'm just saying. I mean, that's going to be incredible.
Then throwing Zack Sabre Jr. as well, defending his world television title that's going to be a Forbidden Door. I mean, come on.
Wrestle,
I mean, it's great wrestling all the way around.
no doubt.
I mean, that should be the event of the year if they pull it off
MJF
right.
and Tanahashi supposedly, so that'll if he shows up, who knows?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, this is one of those cards that you want to have your spread set days in advance because you don't want to miss a second of it. You have to stay in front of the tube at all times.
Exactly. And this is the thing about it. We find ourselves talking about storylines for WWE, but we're talking about the action of AEW.
The
I
lack
mean, it's
of
always
mean-
been like that.
Mm.
But that's what make now it just seemed like, and even with WWE with the whole thing with the bloodline and things like that, their action still's been pretty good. It's maybe some of the lower card matches that maybe when it comes to the ring work wasn't that great. Whereas in AEW, pretty much I say about 75 to 80% of their matches, from top to bottom have been very good to excellent matches overall. So it's like if hopefully with Dax Harwood now got Collision, now CM Punk, and I'm gonna say, pitch this history fit. He got his own show because Tony Khan felt like he needed him. Now he's got his own show, and Dax is gonna be with the creator for that show. Okay, maybe he can not be so pissy and narcissistic and actually do us good for the company as a whole. So that's my take on it. I mean, I'm sorry, I hadn't seen anything from Punk that can tell me he's been anything less than that.
He's one of the most overrated people in the world right now to me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna heel turn right now.
I mean, he
I'm
had,
sorry. He should have taken the high road.
yeah.
I'm gonna give the Bucks credit, not just because I like them. I've met them and I think they're fantastic gentlemen. That has nothing to do with anything. Do business. Now, I doubt this is a work because I've seen some things like the Elite aren't even going to be at Dynamite when he's there Wednesday. He's picking on Hangman Page about a chop in the face. You're a wrestler, man. Get over it. It's just he's been, his people were calling it the second coming, like he's Jesus Christ or something. It's like the pop in Chicago wasn't even that big. That should tell you something.
It wasn't, and my thing with the whole situation is, and we've been told this at one point when we have a job, you keep home at home, you keep work at work, and if you had any issues, take it up with that person behind closed doors because there are just some things that doesn't need to be in the log. And if you got an issue, hash it out. If you need to yell at somebody, do that. But once
Or
you leave
better
that
yet,
locker,
Tony needs to sit these guys down like he should have done months ago. Say, hey, look, get it out the way now. We're here to do business.
Yeah.
Talk it out, fight it out. I don't give a damn what you do, but we're doing business out there.
Yeah, we said that.
And he should have started that at the All Out scrum when Punk went off. He should have stopped right there and said, "Okay, we're done here.
Or we
Punk,
can
you
talk
go in the bathroom. We'll talk later."
Yeah. Say what you want about Vince being a kook and having a weird mustache and everything else. That never would have happened in the WWE, even if Triple H was in charge. That
oh
stuff
no,
handled behind closed doors. You might have
That
heard
never
of
would have happened with Triple H, with Vince. That wouldn't have happened in any other promotion.
no.
Billy Corgan
just
wouldn't
out
have
of hand.
allowed it.
Tony's let
Some
the hand completely.
yeah,
Now,
somebody's gonna get in your face, gonna tell you cool the blank off, and then that's it, game over. And anything that's left in the locker room, it stays there. Everybody's good. Let's have and drive home safely. Let's head to the next town and do business.
and maybe they need somebody like Undertaker in AEW that's in charge of the guys in the back. And, if you sneeze incorrectly, he comes over and doesn't beat you to death or whatever, but he's intimidating as hell and everybody respects him and says,
But
hey,
here's the
maybe you
thing.
should do whatever.
Here's the thing. The guy that does that is usually the big veteran. And what do you do when it's the big veteran that's causing the problem? Punk is the veteran. Punk and Jericho.
Well, there's still some, Jericho's there, and so is Christian. There's guys there that aren't. I mean, there's people there that could step up and maybe be.
I think Jericho's the only one that has a voice there that is heard.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he could have stepped up, but at the same time, if Jericho wasn't there or if he was doing else thing, he could have missed all that. But however, there could have been the next show. Okay, fellas, like you was to your point, Curtis, and that's where Vince gets credit. Okay, guys, fight it out. Get it out the way. Let's go ahead and like y'all are saying, let's do business. Hash all this out of the way. I mean, I know Omega's the only one who maybe is keen to possibly or open to communicate with Punk past this. I know Young Bucks are like, no, you're gonna get this paperwork. Stay away from us. We're not gonna deal with you. So I mean, yeah, it's kind of modern times, but every now and then you need to go back old school to figure out what's best for business, quote unquote.
You need to man up.
If they're still doing a work or whatever, they're going to wrestle at Wembley or something. I mean, sometimes you wonder. But I'm with you. I think Jericho actually tried to sit down and do something. I think he wanted to maybe be Punk's first opponent or whatever. Then you got Samoa Joe there, who's known Punk for a long time, and I think he's pretty respected in the business with the guys. I mean, I think a lot of guys respect him. I've never heard anything really bad about him. But ultimately, like we said, it rests with Tony. Tony should have looked over at Punk when he was eating his muffin and talking junk and said, hey, let's talk about this in the back. I know you're upset or whatever. And then he's carrying the belt around too, I guess, in that bag. He never opened it. So I don't know how that's all going to, maybe he and MJF are going to wrestle for, who knows? I don't, but like you were saying, Clint, it ultimately comes down to Tony. And this never would have happened with McMahon ever in a million years would he have allowed something like this. And there's a reason why Punk is bounced around and has a reputation. I mean, that promo, he doesn't think his junk stinks, and you know what I'm talking about. So
Well, he was in
That's why I say
Chicago
if he,
also, so he was feeling himself.
right.
Mhm.
So maybe he felt the need to go scorched earth because he was in Chicago. Like if he was in another city and this was an opening to Collision, would he have cut the same promo? I mean, he says that, no, like me or hate me. The reason why you do either one is because you know I'm right. No, you could be an asshole and you could bleep that out. You could be an a-hole about something and not be right, but because you think you're right in your mind, because you're like narcissist or megalomaniac almost just about, I'm always right. No, bro, you could be wrong. And you was wrong when you started with that scrum, and you're more wrong now, even with after the ESPN interview that preceded you cutting that promo at the opening of Collision. But you got your way, you got your own show now, you got your best friends on the show, and now you got friends in the creative to help your friends look good. Now, granted, I do like the fact he wants to push talent like Ricky Starks
Yeah.
and Powerhouse Hobbs, because yes, those guys deserve pushes, even though it kind of prematurely stopped. But yeah, I understand that part, but it's the rest of it. At what
Well,
expense do he want to push that? Push him to be top talent, but making sure that he's on top as
well, I'm
well. I
hoping
mean, come
now that
on.
he's, has a little hissy fit. He's cut his pipe bomb or whatever. He's gotten him out of the system. Maybe now he will focus on business.
that was one of those little pop things you throw on the ground that snaps. That wasn't a pipe bomb.
No, it
No,
wasn't a pipe bomb. It was.
I just don't see this ending well. I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, I
Either
don't
he gets
either.
injured again, or not that I'm wishing that on him at all, because I don't wish things like that on people, but or just things get so convoluted. I mean, I'm glad to see Tony's like naming people like Stokely Hathaway and Jerry Lynn to help him in Ring of Honor, but he really and truly needs to get some more people to help him with AEW, because he's always got that deer in a headlight look when he's making announcements. And that's got to be what he looks like back there in the back when he's like, guys, we need to do this. I love AEW. Like we were talking about, the action, it's incredible. The storylines need work, but we've never watched a pay per view, honestly, and I don't think ever been um, disappointed. I mean, the matches are always great, even if there's
Absolutely.
build
I
up to
mean,
them.
even the ones that have no
Yeah.
storyline that makes any sense, and they sound like crap on paper. They end up being good shows because of the in ring action.
And one good thing that came out of this is Jay White and Juice Robinson actually got to wrestle for more than like three minutes or whatever. So people got to see them. So maybe something good. And Andre El Idolo and Buddy Matthews tore the house down.
Yeah.
So maybe having another show will allow people to see the other people's greatness, like we were saying, Hobbs and Ricky Stark, because both of those guys should be getting more. They just have too many people, man, and
They
it's
do.
just.
They really do.
I mean,
Mhm.
kudos for trying to give guys jobs and trying to get everybody in the world, but you can't do that. So anyway, that's my two cents. I don't like Punk. I used to like him after I met him. Now I guess I see what people have said about him. Not mixing well with others or whatever. But we weren't there when the
And I
fight
get
happened, and we don't know what happened behind closed doors. And the Bucks could be in the wrong too. Who knows? I don't know, but
I mean, they very
I
well
mean,
could be, but
yeah.
who's running their mouth about it?
Yeah, that's one thing. They took the high road and just kind of laughed it off about a T-shirt, which I thought was hilarious, honestly, because they would have put a T-shirt out for you.
Excuse me.
very good point.
Anyway,
So, final thoughts about what's going on as far as what happened with Osprey coming to attack Omega and Dynamite, and what you guys are thinking about how Collision has started off.
Aside from Punk, I see things getting better for AEW. We'll see how Punk's going to behave from here on out. If he's going to do business and be professional, or if he wants to just take jabs at everyone all day long. Hopefully, like I said, he got out of his system. He's ready to do business, and with a separate show, we can now highlight guys on the roster who have been kind of left behind. The matches are already there. The talent is already there. Just use it properly, and don't sign anyone else. Stop signing new wrestlers.
Dynamite in
Please.
Chicago supposedly, and he's going to be there, so he may be running his jaws again. But as far as Osprey, I wish New Japan and AEW would work together more often than just. Well, Eddie Kingston's going to be the G1, so that's cool, and I know that's been a dream of his this
I
whole
mean,
time.
I will say this: they do work, together quite a bit through the years. Not just Forbidden Door. We've seen guys show up here and there, so I do like that.
And each time they've worked together, it's been with phenomenal results. Now, as far as the CM Punk thing, like you said, Claire, I hope he got it out of his system and not just rambling just to desperately get a pop. And again, good start to Collision. Hope it keeps up. And let's just hope they. And again, we just hoping they do business. None of this stuff blows up because they're wrestlers and they're part of a profession that we adore, and we don't want anything bad to happen to these guys.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this initial thing will blow over, and hopefully him having Dax and Cash with him, having his buddies there, and Samoa Joe, maybe that'll help him to have a little direction behind the scenes, and maybe he and MJF are going to wrestle. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what the creative is going to be, but it can't be bad to have another show in a couple more hours to showcase your talent. And it can't be bad for New Japan and AEW to work together.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and you kind of see the genesis of some matches that can happen along the way, especially with the announcement of the Owen Hart tournament, and some of the wrestlers are going to be involved with that. So I think that's going to be a good thing overall with Collision being in. Of course, if you're not excited to see Ospreay and Omega fight again, I mean, come on, you really not a fan, because those guys are going to always put on a classic match, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So you guys tell us, are we being too harsh on CM Punk? What do you guys think about the implosion of, of the bloodline? Hey, be sure to comment below, like, share, subscribe as always, and hit that notification bell to know when we're uploading new videos. And of course, you can always catch us on Instagram at where, Clint?
Ringside right now.
And of course, you can always check out Nuxie's channel. Where it on YouTube?
That's at www.youtube.com/@Nuxie, Nucksy. It should be down there. Also, we just passed 100 subscribers. So
we thank y'all. We thank you so very much for the new subscribers we got. We appreciate you guys. Be sure to comment below, and so we can give you some shout outs. But we thank you guys. Trust me.
Yes,
we do it for our fun, but we do it
Yeah.
because we know you guys want to have those conversations as well. So be sure to let us know what you think about what's been going on so far with wrestling. So, as well with the crew as all, what was that, Nuxie?
So we love to share love and laughter with everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Sure.
And, for the crew as always, Clint, Curtis, and Jonathan, I'm here. And this has been Ringside Right Now. Let's ring the bell.